All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's episode 2 of the Backyard Podcast. Today we have a new guest for you.
He's a firefighter. He's also an English teacher, Mr. Pitt.
You come in now.
Hey everyone. Is this good?
Yep, I think that's good.
Perfect. Yeah. How are you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, thank you. Yeah.
So, how's the move down here to Tri-Center?
It was great. It was a long trip. Rained on me the whole way over here. It was
That's
like
tough.
a 3.5 hour drive. But it was good though. It was and well worth that long journey. But yeah. So this was absolute fire. So it was good.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be. So what inspired you to be an English teacher or teacher at all?
Yeah, that's a great question. So both my parents, they're teachers, so that was a big one. But the biggest thing was I had this really cool hipster English professor. His name, ironically, was Isaac too.
Oh.
And so that's kind of a cool thing. And one day he held me after class and he said, "Hey, I think you'd be a great English major right through school." And I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool that a professor had that interest in me. So I was like, "All right, I'm gonna do that."
All right.
But I was thinking about business until I watched The Office all the way through, and I was like, "Nah, I can't do that." But yeah, but that was it. That was the big decision.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, thank
So,
you. I try.
I know that you volunteer for the fire department around here. What drove you to do that?
Yeah. So the biggest thing for that one was I'd always wanted to do it. My dad was a firefighter way back in the day. My brother was a firefighter, and so it was always something I wanted to do. And I thought it was a great service for other people as well. And my thing is I feel the most happy when I am helping other people out.
Yeah.
So going into education as well, that's what kind of helped me make that decision because I'm being of service for others and it's about them. It's not necessarily about me and my needs. So that part's good.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. But how about you guys? Do you ever volunteer? Is there something that you do for other people that?
I mean, the extent I go to is we got that local movie theater. I volunteer there sometimes.
Yeah,
Oh, no kidding. Yeah.
Same here.
This is embarrassing. I've never been to a movie at the Phoenix.
Really?
Yeah. What is the best part about the Phoenix?
Just that it's so cheap.
It's cheap, yeah, and it's just like going to a normal movie theater and you pay $10 less, and just I always wanted to volunteer at the Humane Society. I haven't gotten to that yet, but maybe later I might.
Really cool.
But yeah.
Yeah. So when you work at the Phoenix, do you pop the popcorn too?
Yeah.
We do the whole
everything.
deal. We gotta do everything.
Got the whole
Take the
ordeal.
tickets, pop the popcorn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever get scalding butter all over you? Because that.
I never have, but I know
Yeah.
some people.
Sometimes you'll be standing there and the kernels will pop out at you. But
Yeah.
That sounds
it's killer.
terrifying.
Killer.
Yeah, absolutely. But cool.
pretty bad.
Yeah. So you got any questions, Gavin?
I know you like to skateboard, so
Yeah.
how long have you been doing that?
Not long enough. That's how long. I picked it up. It was actually my freshman year of college, and so this is what happened. I had this little thing that was called a penny board, right? Because it's super small. And so I was going down this hill, and I was trying to be cool, and I was trying to make friends and be social, like freshmen at college do, kind of thing. And as I'm going down this huge hill, there's this giant crack in the sidewalk that I had not seen when I started going down it. So I go down and I just hit it. It was just just destroys me. So I fall flat on my face, in front of the library. So all these people see me, and it was just mortifying. And so after that, I hung it up for a couple years. And then rather than having a small penny board, I went for a long board because it seemed more safe.
Yeah.
Which it was until I once again ate it on 3rd Street back in the fall. So, but I'm back on the board already though. It's good. It's good.
Not giving up on it?
Yeah, not yet. Not yet. It's only a matter of time though. Someday you'll see me wheeling down the hallway in a wheelchair, not on the board. Not yet. So, yeah.
We'll have to get back on when that happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what made you, for those people that don't know, we go to a smaller school. So what made you choose Tri-Center over let's say a bigger school, or did they give you a call? How'd that all work?
Yeah. All right. So this is quite the story. So you just slap me if I'm starting to.
No, you're good.
Monologue.
Just talk. Just talk.
Yeah. So it was kind of a big decision for me to be honest. Exactly a year ago, I was in this program called Teach for America, and so what they do is they take teachers and they place them in inner city schools. And they serve mostly low socioeconomic status students and stuff. So super pumped about this program, and it was really competitive to get into it. And so I was kind of excited. I thought it was kind of my purpose in life, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But then as I was going through this placement program or the process of finding my specific school, I straight up had the worst day of my life. And so I'm about to be honest and open really quick about it. But I firmly believe that like students are so much more than a test score, right?
I agree.
When I see people, like I see their talents, I see their potential, and I know that they have so much more to offer for this world that any kind of test or any single subject could accurately measure about them.
Yeah.
And so the school that I interviewed with, they were purely about those test scores. And I kid you not, this interview started at 6:30 in the morning, and it went until 2:30 in the afternoon. Yeah, that was my reaction too. That was exactly it. So after this, I was driving away. I borrowed my mom's Prius to get down there because it was in Kansas City, and so nothing against Prius owners, but it added in. Mileage. Yeah, that 35 miles to the gallon. Oh, dang. It's worth it. It's like your pride goes down, but the gas mileage you're saving.
Save some money.
Yeah, it's great. It's also light blue, but that's a separate thing. But anyways, I'm driving away, and I just had like this terrible, terrible experience, and I knew that I was just like at such odds inside. And so as I was driving, like I won't kid you, like I kind of got really emotional, and like just something within me was saying like, this is not the spot for you, this is not the place, this is not the program, because you need to be part of a system that supports kids to become the best possible them, right?
Yeah.
And like especially in the teenage years, like I'm sure you guys have so much that you want to offer to other people. Like there's a lot that's special about you.
Yeah.
And so you deserve to be in a school district that supports that. And so it was about that time I backed out of the program, and I uploaded my resume to this website called Teach Iowa. And that's about the time when this guy had the audacity to not only email me, but sent me a text and called me, and that man was Chad Harder, right? And so it was exactly a year ago, like he traced me, or he tracked me down.
Yeah.
And so, but it worked. And I pretty much decided that it was worth it to go to a school where I felt valued, and I saw the way that how he interacted with other people, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm assuming, like with you too, like you've seen Mr. Harder around the school.
Yeah.
Like, he's very friendly, engaging. He's the kind of person you want to work for.
Yeah.
And so that's why I chose Tri-Center. And so...
You liking it?
I do. I love it a lot. But here's my question for you guys, because like I see only one side of the equation, right?
Yeah.
So like, what is something about Tri-Center that we'll start like, what's something that you enjoy about your experience at Tri-Center?
Honestly, I love being part of like a small community, or like things like this, where like I can be like, hey, I want to be in a podcast, like just to a teacher. I feel like in a big school, like teachers don't connect with their students like that, and like the opportunity to be able to do that is just like really cool.
And you like know everybody. Like I don't think I could walk through the hall, see someone, and not know their name.
Right.
And like stuff that they do, like sports and things.
Yeah. But yeah, so I graduated with 25 other kids, and so like at a school that small, like you know who everybody is, you know what their parents do, and weirdly enough, you know where like they live and stuff.
What they're doing every weekend.
Yeah, exactly. And so completely agree with both of you. But if there's something that like you think that like we could work on though, because I know like now we're getting to like that kind of
I mean, honestly, like I was thinking about this, like going into the podcast, and like
yeah.
Like there isn't a whole lot. I know that people say there's bullying problems at our school, but
I really don't believe there is.
I don't think there is, but I think it comes with a small school because we're like so cliquey. Like everyone's part of a group, and if you can't get into a group, you're probably gonna feel left out and like probably picked on. And like that's, I don't know, maybe trying to be more welcome, but I don't know how we could really work on that.
Right. And that's something that's also like tough from like a school wide, because like teachers can't enforce like who hangs out with who. Like we can provide opportunities for you all like to get to know each other in school projects, but like outside of that, it's tough.
You're on your own. So
then here's my next question then, like what's the determining factor for like who hangs out with who? Like how are those cliques kind of developed, do you think?
I think it all started like a while ago though.
Yeah.
Like in elementary school.
Yeah. So
honestly though,
like whoever you really like, I've hung out with Isaac probably like
since
like
kindergarten. Like it's been a while.
Since he punched me in the face in kindergarten.
We just clicked after that.
That's what brought you two together? That guy punched me in the face. I respect that.
Yeah. But like they've always like, you always hung out with like the same people. It doesn't really change. And like new people come to the school. I don't know. Sometimes they fit in, sometimes they don't.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, it just depends on your type. Like, I'm not going to use any names, but we got, like, new kids that are, like, they come in playing baseball, basketball. Naturally, the odds of them fitting in are going to be so much greater as they're part of so much more.
Oh, yeah.
But then you got other kids that, like, they don't do anything. Like maybe they're not any, like, extra, like, school things or they're not gonna be hanging out with a lot of people, then like naturally the odds of them being a part of like a bigger group is smaller because like they're not gonna be around as many people.
Oh yeah, and I think that like you need to have that connection outside of the classroom. And
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which when like people say like try new things, dude, I like recommend that because like you're gonna meet new people, you're gonna make friends. That's a big one.
Yeah.
And then if you don't do that, then you're not gonna have a group, you're not gonna have friends, you're not gonna have fun in school.
Absolutely. I always feel bad for those students too, though, because like when you do put yourself out there, you're also putting yourself out there for like rejection as well. So like there's that 50-50 chance of like, all right, these people are either gonna really love me or I'm really gonna mess something up and like they're gonna push me away. Yeah.
I mean, and like that's the phase we went through. Like with this YouTube though, like you got to put yourself out there. When there's a chance everyone's gonna like make fun of you for it and say it's stupid, but there's also that chance people are like that's cool, like
Definitely.
so.
Oh, and I'm assuming that like to be creative like this, like it's something you guys are really passionate about, right?
Yeah.
So like there might be some haters out there, but you get excited about like producing these things, like thinking like what kind of questions can we ask other people, and like I don't know, there's that excitement about it that makes it worth it.
Yeah, it's just it's fun. It's a fun thing to do.
It honestly is. Isaac texting you, where you at? When are you gonna be here?
Yeah, I thought he wasn't gonna show up. He comes with a huge old thing of ice cream. He's like,
bro,
sorry.
I was hungry.
So I was getting ice cream.
Yeah, wait, what's the best place to get ice cream at?
Don's.
Don's is the best.
It's
okay.
Diamond Oil now.
Yeah, gas station just now.
This podcast is brought to you by Diamond Oil.
Sponsor us.
But honestly, probably would.
Do you even work there anymore? Like,
No.
when was the last time you worked?
It's been a while because of soccer, but
Hey, if it helps, I exclusively buy my gas from there.
hey, it's a good
I get all my egg rolls from
I just
Come
got
and Go.
gas.
Other than that,
yeah, I just got gas.
hey, that's good stuff. You're welcome.
if they even watch it.
But yeah, no, going back to what you said though, it makes like total sense about like those things are deeply rooted like in your elementary experience together.
Yeah.
Growing up, I had this best buddy. His name was Drew. The reason why we were so close was we were both terrible at basketball. And so on the kindergarten, like on the playground, like we were playing on this tiny basketball hoop because like there's only 5'8" of me, so not exactly Shaquille over here. But so we were so bad that we decided that we would shoot hoops together. And going through that experience, that brought us together.
Yeah.
And then we were friends like all the way through and stuff. We still keep in contact.
And it's just like it's little things like that though, because if you didn't go out for the basketball team and realize you weren't the best,
Get wrecked.
Yeah, you wouldn't have made your best friend. So it's just like putting yourself out there and just taking that leap.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I feel that.
So here, what other questions do we got here? I know we had he was our sub for the art class the other day. We got we got a little argument. I wouldn't know if it was an argument.
I think it was a good
It was a discussion, yeah. Just about like staying professional, just like schooling and preparing you for the real world.
Yeah.
Like, and I know that's a really like common discussion throughout like everywhere. But like, what do you think about that? You think high school prepares you to post high school or like?
That is the $1 million question. Well, let's see here. Let's set it up with like, what are some of the things that we're working towards, right? So like, what's the end goal? How do we see ourselves being successful, right? So like, in your point of view, is like, what is a successful human adult?
I'd say
human,
like,
I guess.
I feel like it varies.
I'd say like, you having the job that you want to do
And enjoy.
and you can go to your job every day and you're happy, and you have a family and you're living fine. Like, you don't have to worry about like money.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're like rich, but you just don't have to
You're
worry
comfortable.
about. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Which like I agree with that. Like almost exactly. Like you have a
Isaac's
job.
dad's a doctor.
You have a
I
job.
can see that, Dr. Isaac. Yeah, that.
His dad's a doctor.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But like you have a job
Well, you
that
need
like.
to be for that fancy dog. But
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
So keep going.
But you have a job that you enjoy and like you don't go to work every day and like hate your life or whatever, and you have a family, which like school can't really prepare you for a family or really.
Right.
But, like-
Yeah, how they have those? Didn't they have those classes where you like had to?
Well, they have like they teach you how to cook and stuff. That's
no,
not
have a
teach you how
little
to get a
like
wife.
baby.
Well,
I took a
guess
class.
that.
See those all
Yeah.
over like Snapchat.
Yeah, true, and they start crying.
Yeah.
I had one of those. Like it went off at like 3 a.m. It was,
Like
it was
on
awful.
Drake and Josh, I think it was, where they did it and like hit the baby on the board to get it to shut up.
I haven't thought about that show in forever, but yes,
It's
exactly
such a
like
good
that.
show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know really get that, but like personally, like I know I'm bad at math, so I'm biased towards this, and like I'm not going to go into a field that requires math. And like I think we kind of talked about this too, is like you're not going to know where that cutoff is, but I feel like past like probably algebra.
I've talked to many people.
Yeah, give or take.
Like they say, like algebra 2 is probably the most they've used.
Yeah.
I don't think they've.
Yeah.
Like right now we're doing algebraic trigonometry questions, and
when are you gonna?
You no idea what is going on.
Yeah.
I agree. Like with that, like when are you gonna need that? Maybe if you go into a field that requires that, maybe take that class.
Maybe a trigonometry teacher, but I don't really.
Yeah, but other than that, like.
Yeah, this is also a dilemma that like I run into too, because like with my freshman class right now we're going through Fahrenheit 451.
Yeah.
And for me, like being the English nerd that I am, like I love those conversations. Like they're very meta, like we're talking about society and things like that. But if you're somebody that is going into a hard science, like this is one thing that I struggle with, like motivating my own students. If they are wanting to be like a vet, does a vet need to be so preoccupied with like the literary era that this book was produced?
I mean,
no, they
that's
don't,
like
right? That's
Shakespeare. Like,
yeah,
I get he's like a big dude, like people like him, but I don't ever understand what I'm even reading when I read it.
Mr. Malka watches these. He's gonna be mad.
I mean, yeah, respect to. I like her English class. It's really fun.
Yeah, but like I see what you mean.
That's. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
But like,
yeah,
I really don't understand what he's trying to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, like, this is kind of the conclusion that I've come to through it, too. And so, like, I'll use my personal experience. So, once again, I went to that school, really tiny, 25 kids. One of those people, her name is Lizzie. Currently, she's working for, I believe it's nationwide in Des Moines, right? And so, she's, like, working her way up that corporate ladder. And she is making a good amount of money. She went to Grinnell over, where's that at? In Iowa, which...
Somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere in central Iowa. It shows you how far I mean. But no... But she did extremely well in her classes, and therefore currently she is super successful, and she's become an actuary, right?
Yeah.
And to get there, like your math skills just have to be unmatched,
yeah.
right? So even though she and I would have both taken things like, Algebra 1 and 2 and the pre-calc together, then she like just took off for the races. And so currently, like, do I use what I used in pre-algebra? In pre-calc? Technically, no.
Yeah.
Every day I don't. But I was still given the same opportunities that Lizzie was. And so currently Lizzie is, making all this money over in Des Moines, and I am very happy. I found my purpose, and so I'm really happy with that.
Yeah.
And so it's so interesting because there's this dilemma where you want to give everybody the same potential, like the same opportunities.
Chance, yeah.
And I'd say that, like, as a country, like the United States, like, we pride ourselves on, like, the American dream kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
And so the whole concept of picking yourself up relies on this idea that we all have the same exact opportunities. And so that's where I kind of get caught up in it, because on one hand, like it would be easier just to focus on the things that we want to do, but we don't want to rob other people of those opportunities to explore their passions.
Yeah.
And so,
I know
it's a complex issue, but I love this stuff. Yeah.
Which going back to what you're saying about how a student's potential shouldn't be a grade or like a number.
Right.
Like, and I know colleges are fixing that with like ACT scores not really meaning as much, but I just recently went on a college visit, and like they care so much about your GPA, ACT. Like, I feel like there's other ways they should measure who you are than a number.
Yeah.
And like, I don't really I know you like to hear suggestions,
yeah.
but like I don't know how to fix that. But like, I just feel like
that's the thing that I get so fascinated by, because like I want to know that answer, right?
Yeah,
like
I
want
think
to work
everyone
towards...
does.
Exactly. And so here's my question for you then. Like, if you were like looking inwards, like that whole looking glass self thing, like if you're analyzing yourself, like what is your greatest strength that you think you have to offer towards just your future in whatever way you want to apply yourself?
Like, honestly,
that's a pretty hard question.
It is hard.
That is.
Because on one hand, you don't want to be too arrogant and say, I'm great at all this stuff.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you don't want to shrink yourself too. So it's like, what?
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I really pride myself on being like a...
Diabetic?
Not a diabetic. Being like a go-getter. Like if I want something, I usually, I get it. Like that kind of sounds
so you're a go-getter. You're determined.
Yeah, which, that sounds kind of, cocky, I guess. But, that's kind of what I pride myself on. And,
well, this is an expression of that.
Yeah.
Like, investing in this microphone right here, which is the fanciest microphone I've ever seen.
Exactly. Great quality.
Yeah.
But, yeah, just like that. And, I don't know. I always try to be nice to like people and be like extremely social and try to include everybody, which I know that's not like it's hard sometimes, but like I try that and just like I don't know. Like I know on job applications are like, "What's your strength?" And I'm like, "I'll be a good part of a team," is what I write down most of the time.
Yeah.
And like I just pride myself on that kind of stuff, which that can't be graded by what I got on the ACT.
Right.
Which, I mean, I don't know.
I
don't know how
my
they
personal
could
experience
fix
would
that.
like affirm that too. So what I'm hearing you say though is that you are very like you're self-disciplined in the fact that you get what you set out to achieve.
Yeah.
And then also you're compassionate and you want to help other people.
Yeah.
So like by being self-disciplined and focused on other people's needs, like those are two highly employable things.
Yeah.
Right?
But like,
So yeah.
they're, like let's say I have decent grades and I'm gonna get into that college, but like let's say I didn't. There's no way. Like I'm gonna be able to show that because they're gonna like all the like job's gonna look at is does he have a college degree? They're not. He's not gonna care that like I'm so like determined in everything or like someone else that's like that. So I just don't think that's fair to like some
A
people.
lot of people.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. But how about you? Like, what would you say is your... yeah, brag about yourself, man. It's okay.
we let you take some time to think about it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I was listening. I wasn't just like oh, I'm good at this over here.
Yeah.
Like,
You were just taking note of it.
No.
Right, as he brags about himself, I'm going to think about me.
Yeah. Well, I'd say I'm pretty social. Like, I like making friends.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people around that, like, in this whole, like, community that I know, and, like, other schools even, like, Underwood, Trainer, AL, just everywhere. Like, I have friends from all schools. And, like, I like to play sports. Like, I really like to play sports. I really want to play sports in college, and I hope I can get that
It's the leather
opportunity.
jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, we saw him benching 300 pounds before I got
Yeah.
here. So that's...
I think he got to 350 after you left.
Oh, really? Yeah, I must have just watched his warm-up.
Yeah.
That's a true story. I don't lie. I'm a teacher. Anyways. But yeah, so once again, what I'm hearing you say, though, is that you understand how to build your social capital.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you were a bit all fancy about it. You know how to build those connections, too. And from those connections, you're going to advance your own personal career. Yeah. So, like, those are, like, really great skills on both ends here. And so that's one place where I get a little bit caught up because there have been a number of studies that show that, like, if you're somebody that can advance what you want to be accomplished, and if you're somebody that knows how to motivate those around you, and if you know how to get on other people's good sides, then you are going to advance that much more through your career as well. And so, like, going back to the initial question then, it's tough because those are those, like
you can't.
They contradict.
yeah,
How do
we
you-
can do.
yeah.
It's like that's the street smart, and how do you like make street smart into a book smart like benchmark? You know,
You
Like,
could take
you
the
almost
ASVAB and change it to an ACT score.
right?
Because
I mean,
it
yeah,
lied
the
to me.
ASVAB does a
Yeah.
better job on it and like going more into like personality and your interest. I feel like than the ACT for sure.
Lied to me, dude. Got a 70 on the ASVAB, and that said I should get a 26 on the ACT.
Oh jeez.
So,
Yeah.
didn't happen. I'm not gonna expose what I got, but that didn't happen.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah,
That's
it really
true.
do.
Yeah. Well, and if it helps, I'm open about me and my own personal like track record. My ACT, I got exactly a 21, and to get into Graceland, the school I knew I wanted to go to, you needed to get a 21,
21.
right? And so I got exactly, which is I think maybe 1 point under the national average.
Yeah.
But then through Graceland, I obtained like a 3.98 GPA. And so school itself, like college itself, is so much more a measurement about your self-discipline and how
Yeah.
willing you are to put in the work. And that's what gets those consistent A's. And
See, like,
yeah.
I feel like I really want to be law enforcement. Like I
Yeah.
think that's like the coolest stuff. And I feel like if I go to a college and I learn about that stuff, like I want to learn, I will try way more like to get good grades on that than I will to learn about cosine and tangent.
Yeah.
So you're saying like I would much rather want those practical skills than like some kind of other intellectual. I don't even know how to like describe that. But like those math skills are so important too in like their own fields, right? And so it's
Like that's what you were saying. Is like some people might need that class, but others might, and it's just hard. It would be hard to measure that out.
yeah. Well, then this brings up another dialogue, such as, do you all think that everybody should have like the same academic experience going forward so you can get a little taste of everything? Or should we pressure people at a younger age to try and decide their future?
See, that's hard. Yeah, you brought that up in the art room.
Yeah. Because I was fascinated by that conversation too.
That is hard. I don't know, because like...
I feel like it's hard to put pressure on younger people to... I didn't even know what I wanted to do.
I still don't. I'm a junior in high school.
I know what I want to do
middle
now,
schooler
but like,
to know?
Right.
I wasn't in 7th grade like, oh, I know what I want to do.
Yeah.
I was probably saying I want to be an astronaut or something like that.
Again, it's honestly hard. Like, even you're like your English professor just one day, like, said something to you. And, like, I feel like that's how it works a lot of the time. And, like, how old were you when that happened? Like,
No, I was a freshman in college.
In college,
Very
yeah. So how are you
too.
going to expect a middle schooler to be like, oh, I want to be an English teacher?
Oh, exactly.
Like, I can tell you now that I've changed what I want to do probably 20 times, like, since middle school.
Definitely.
So
What do you want to
it's
do?
hard. I want to go into dentistry, but
I didn't know if you changed it.
no, I'm still there. I've been there for a while.
You're going to watch this in 20 years, like, I remember that. Look at me, the first astronaut doctor in space or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Hey, hopefully.
While you're working on people's teeth, just watching the TV.
Watching the video.
Yeah.
I'm going to force them to watch this on the TVs.
Give me more views.
Like and subscribe, buy some merch. No, but yeah, so it's funny that you say that, especially with 7th grade, because like this past year we read through The Giver, which is about this like dystopian future.
No, we didn't. We didn't read that. We read The Outsiders.
I love that book too.
It's a good book.
It's solid. It's solid stuff. But in The Giver, like they're all told what they'll be when they grow up, when they are 12, I believe. Like it's part of like their 12th birthday. They all turn 12 on the same day. And so as I was reading through this with my 7th graders, like looking into their eyes as they were thinking about this whole concept of deciding what you will do for the rest of your life right now.
Yeah.
And it's like this overwhelming thought because you have all these things, like all these questions, like what if you have the right job but you're doing it with the wrong people, right? Or maybe you can't find the right place or the timing or things like that. Like there's so many other factors that go into it.
Yeah.
And so what I think it really boils down to is there somebody in your life that you look up to that's a cop?
No, not really. I just like think that's so cool. I think I have like a cousin that's like a state patrol officer. But like that's not the reason I want to be a cop. But I just think it's pretty cool.
Absolutely. But at least like you understand kind of the weight, the authority, and like the necessary aspect of their career, right? So you have that kind of role model to strive towards. And so as a dentist, like you said that your dad's a doctor, right?
And then my brother's going into like, he wants to be an orthodontist, so like I'm just surrounded
family doctor.
Just surrounded by like medicine and
so then you have those role models.
Yeah, kind of.
For me, my dad is a college professor. My mom teaches 5th grade, and so I had models that were teachers. And so I think for a lot of people, we stick to what's comfortable for us, and we strive to meet that as well.
Yeah.
And so.
But then there's also this, like you were saying, how you teach in the lower like parts. There's those people that like they don't have those role models, and then like.
Yeah.
It's just hard. Like, it's hard.
I know, yeah, keep going with this question, though. I love where this is going.
Well, I don't know. Like, it's not really a question, but, like, you're saying how it strives towards, like, role models, and which I do believe, especially in a community like ours. Like, my dad's a doctor. I want to be a doctor, Like, you see how he lives. And it's just, like, I feel like it'd be hard in those communities, especially, like, going with, like, what classes to take and stuff. If those kids don't have, like a role model to be like, oh, my uncle's a doctor, I want to be a doctor, because, like, a lot of times parents aren't in those lives. So it'd just be, like, going back to, like, your 12-year-old, like, maybe when I was 12, like, oh, my dad's a doctor, I want to be a doctor, Those other kids, like, when they're 12, they have nothing to be like, oh, he's that, I want to be that. So that'd make it even harder to be, like...
Definitely.
Like, to choose at a younger age.
And then that's so tough, because then people that are, like, born into, like, kind of a more impoverished house...
Yeah.
Will grow up and they might not break out of that cycle, right? They might not find those opportunities.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why I love living in Neola so much, is that I think this community is full of a lot of really great people that do serve as great role models for other people as well.
I agree with that.
I think about some of the people that I serve on the fire department with, and they're just some of the most selfless individuals that I know. And they just do an excellent job of being there for the community as a whole, too.
Yeah.
And so now that I have them as role models, too, even though I'm out of college, I can continue to look up to them and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah. But
what were you going to say?
I was going to say, like, so is that, like, when that professor said that to you, is that what, like...
Yeah.
That's what...
That was, like, the first time that you're like...
that's when you were like, I want to be an English teacher?
Well, I knew that I wanted to, like, possibly
be
a teacher. Right. Yeah. And like I said, I was also thinking about business, because, like, you've never see somebody that is unhappy on a jet ski, like that whole kind of mentality, right?
Yeah.
But then when this really cool, hip English professor came and talked to me about this, suddenly I had a new role model. I knew that I had somebody that I wanted to kind of reflect, right? Now, am I cool? No. But was I striving for it? Absolutely, right? And so that's kind of the thing that I found there. And not only that, but then I spent the next 4 years talking with him and learning from him and moving on, that kind of thing. And so, but yeah, it was really kind of a great thing.
That is cool.
Yeah. But then kind of going back to our initial discussion then, like, because ultimately as teachers, like, if we are to look at a school like it's a business, our students are our customers.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer that, like, there needs to be that feedback loop so that we know how to meet your needs more.
Yeah.
And so what is it that you think that students really strive to have in a teacher, or like something that like helps regain or retain your attention?
Like,
well, it's like, okay, so like,
Yeah.
I don't really want to say any names.
No, it's okay. Just like speaking generic.
Yeah, just say like,
broad
yeah.
terms, because like I
General-
just yelled at you.
Yeah.
But like, there's like people like, there's teachers that obviously don't like you, like you can tell, and then there's teachers that like you, and they like understand like what it's like, and they like, you can like joke around and like do whatever, like, no, I'm not saying do whatever you want, but like you can just like joke around and have fun.
Have a good time, yeah.
But then there's those teachers that like, no, there's like no doing that. And I feel like if like teachers would understand more and like loosen up a little bit, be less strict, then I feel like school would be like a lot more better atmosphere.
And like, I agree with that. And along those same lines is like, you can tell what teacher enjoys their job and which like what doesn't. And like you, for example, like you do everything possible that's offered for the teachers to do, and you can just tell that you like have fun with it. And like, but then there's also those teachers that like, you can just tell they don't like their job. You know, you get in the class, they're like, you know, do this assignment. You know, they're all like moan and groan, and like you can just tell like who likes their job, and it's just so much more fun to go to a classroom where the teacher's just as excited as you are like for that class to start. Except when like those teachers that don't like their job, example, you're in a good mood, and then you get into that class, you're like, I hate school, I don't want to be here. Like, it just ruins it, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's just nice to have a teacher you can tell enjoys their job and like wants to teach you.
Oh yeah, so the biggest thing is the mindset of that teacher themselves.
Yeah,
like
pretty
if
much
they are
is
someone
that.
that's more of a positive person, someone that trusts you as well.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, and then there's like just like some like I can't say that.
Just say like a teacher.
Well, just
like a teacher, and like you could tell like when they don't like you. Like I feel like there's a lot of favoritism, and
I
sometimes
think that comes with a small school too, though. Like that's, I feel
you're
like
always
yeah,
bumping into
more.
people,
But I feel like
years at a time too.
like you just shouldn't show that
Yeah.
unless you're not in school. Like you can like there's classes like I have like you can tell which teacher likes which person more.
Yeah.
And that, like, I'll be honest, that's something that I need to work on as well, because, like, the number one thing that I underestimated about teachers as a student was just how human they are also.
Yeah.
And it's like anything else. Like, they're probably, like, classmates that you all have that just, like, annoy you so much,
Yeah.
right? And then there are other people that, like, you just really gel with as well, and that's just, like, part of being human and having personality traits that you're drawn to. And so I will admit, like, that's one thing that I need to constantly reaffirm myself too, is how am I treating everybody equally as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Which like also another thing that's really nice as a teacher you can like talk to about something.
Yeah.
Cause like, I'm not gonna say names, but there's like teacher.
But if we're talking good about them, can we say names?
I'm just gonna say a teacher to keep names out of it. But like I have a teacher that like it's a hard class and it, like she knows that I struggle in it. Like she'll be like,
she's a she.
That limits it out.
Oh,
Way to go.
No, but like that teacher
Yeah.
knows that like I struggle in that class. She'll be like, that teacher will be like, come in after school and get some help, or come in before school.
Right.
Yeah, I already know who you're talking about.
But like, yeah, but like other teachers, like just, and it kind of goes along the lines of like enjoying their job. You can tell when a teacher wants you to get it, and you can tell when a teacher cares less if you get it or you are taught something. And it's just, it's kind of all along the same line. Like,
Yeah.
it's so nice to be able to go and
especially
talk
when
to a
your
teacher.
teacher's like over the internet, you know.
Yeah, that was rough. We had some problems with some
Oh,
college
online classes?
courses.
Is
Yeah.
that, oh man, that's the worst.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was, but
Like not hearing back from them for like a week.
yeah, and then they give you an F on an exam.
And you're like, what did I do?
Exactly.
You're just feeling all this pending doom. Yeah, I feel that. I feel
Yeah,
that.
but it's just nice to be able to go and talk to them.
Yeah. Oh, I feel that too. Because I was having a conversation just the other day with a certain art teacher who I also really appreciate. Okay, it's Mrs. Alfred.
Yes, she's a good teacher.
Yeah. And we were kind of talking about how like education and teaching is like its own kind of form of like, it's something that you feel drawn towards because you genuinely want to be there for those students. Like that is like the root of why you're there every day. Like that is, I won't speak for her, but something that we agreed on is that our driving passion is seeing other people be successful, because there's a lot of selfish joy, like if I'm being perfectly bleak and honest, but there is that joy in seeing students be successful as a result of your effort. And like that is the most rewarding, I don't know, return on your time that you can ask for.
Yeah, and now that we set a name, like Miss Alfred is so always positive. Like literally,
and she like connects with the students.
Yeah,
like she tries to connect with the students.
And like literally, you can like, she's an art teacher for those who don't know. And like literally, like today, for example, I was doing this painting. I'm like, I quit. This is so stupid. And like threw it. I didn't throw it, but like I went and put it in the back room. And she like went and got it. And she's like, no, you can fix this. And like, you just tear it.
It's like one of those Hallmark moments. Like you see that in a TV movie, like, no, you will not give up on this.
You can just tell she like loves her job though and wants you to succeed. And it's just like so nice. Like, it's just cool. Like, it's a better feeling than you don't do that. And people's like, okay. Like, you know what I mean?
And like on a similar vein, like there have been moments, even though like she and I like we're colleagues, she has been very supportive and kind and compassionate towards me too, and done things like that people don't have to do.
Yeah.
But because she is that kind-hearted person, she said, no, I'm going to welcome in the new guy, regardless of how much of a hippie you might look like, right? So that support goes a long ways as a coworker too. So when you say that you want to work with somebody that's positive, I feel that. That's good stuff.
It's nice.
Yeah. And so, like once again though, like, because I think there's this other part of education it's not just about memorizing facts. It's not just about like memorizing those things. It's about supplying that role model for students as well.
Yeah.
And so you will remember those acts of generosity, and you'll say, you know what, I want to be more like a Mrs. Alfers in my life too.
Yeah.
And I feel like that part of education is just as important as
actually teaching.
Well, yeah, and like those hard skills, which is kind of tough to test on once again. But I don't know, like that's an important part of it to me too. And so, but yeah.
But I don't know what time we're at here. This doesn't say a time; it just keeps going. But I mean, you got anything you want to like close it off with, or anything you want to like people to hear?
Oh, let's see. Just anything in general?
Anything. I mean, like, don't chase your dream. Anything.
Augie literally just went off.
Yeah, Augie's just like,
I was like,
to end it off, like, here's the path we're going to end it off. It was like, completely not what we were talking about.
Oh my God.
But I was inspired, dude.
Yeah, it was nice.
It's like a TED Talk for 20 minutes at the end there.
Yeah.
Was there ever a time when you were like, just like, you know?
Well, good.
Yeah.
Kind of, but it wasn't like, at the beginning, it wouldn't have been like that if we didn't like lose all of our footage.
Yeah.
Because we went for like 17 minutes.
The camera wasn't recording.
And we were like,
I hope it is right now. Like, I keep looking at it.
It's just like an audio file. It's okay. I memorized everything we said. It's okay.
All right, you might need to help me out then.
And then, so then we had to go back over that, and I'm like, well,
yeah, we already heard it, so we're just like,
no tea on him, but like,
yeah, it was good though. Yeah. It's got like 550 views right now. That's pretty good.
That is pretty good. Yeah, as long as it wasn't just like his mom or something.
No, that's what like that was trying to. Speaking of. Harder, we brought him up. I don't think he watches these. He just says he doesn't. But he's like, I told him that our last video has 600 views. He's like, oh, is that you clicking it every time? That's not how YouTube works. Like it means it's 600 different people watching the video,
right? Which
I don't think some people understand. Like, I mean, it's pretty cool. 600 people are watching that video.
Oh, I'd say so too. Does that like builds like pressure for you guys to know like
honestly
that camera over there is 600 people?
Not really pressure, but confidence that like 600 people want to watch what you're putting out. It's just cool. Yeah. Like, and I can't even imagine how some of those big people feel that, like, get millions of views.
Oh, I couldn't even imagine. Like, it would be tough for me to, like, blow up to be that big, though. Because, like, I just think of some of the venom that is in those comment sections. Too.
Oh, it's probably terrible. I wouldn't even look at them, honestly.
Oh, yeah, no way. It's like, oh, hey, look, the views are good, and we mostly have, like, upvotes.
And then the comments come up and be like,
Yeah.
they cover my eyes.
Just like make it a private comment section. Like,
Yeah.
no comments.
Turn off
Cut them
comments.
off completely. Yeah,
But yeah, I mean,
I feel that.
I think that just goes with like being motivated about it, not letting people tear you down like that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think, like, the whole podcast, I don't know, kind of structure is really cool, too, because you're forced to be intentional about the conversations you're having.
Yeah.
Because, like, Dead Space is kind of... It was a great video game. I'm sorry, that was...
No, I played that game.
Okay,
before.
yeah,
I know what you're talking
yeah,
about.
okay.
I never.
The character's name is Isaac, so that's why.
I never played that game. I was like, what?
Sorry, that was such a random moment. But, like, Dead Space or Dead Air on the radio, like, it's tough to navigate that through. So when you're having pointed conversations to get at the issues, like,
Yeah.
it makes it that much more interesting to listen to.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But so then that kind of raises the question for me, like, what is it that drew you to this kind of format? Because there's a lot of different ways that you can do these things on YouTube.
Well, I mean, honestly, like we have a couple videos on the channel where like one we just went to Walmart and we bought random stuff and made a fish tank out of it and like like I know, like we just did stupid stuff. And like my cousin, like he watches through all these and he always is like, well, what's your goal? And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, what kind of channel do you want? I'm like,
I want to make
know.
people like laugh. Like,
I want to
like,
be entertaining. I want to like,
Yeah.
you know, when you come home from school, you got like for example, we got practice at 5. We get out of school at 3:30. Give them that like something to do in between that time frame, and they're just sit there and do
sit
nothing.
around.
I don't know, just like entertain people.
Who wants to do homework?
Yeah, like who does homework?
So
You would.
yeah, you're right. Hey, but no, I
No,
feel that because like for me, going through high school was all about like we would make just like dumb, stupid movies like just outside of class and stuff. Like we would like any chance we could get like for To Kill a Mockingbird, we made a movie for that. Like, oh my gosh, the Iliad we did. Like I was stabbed like 3 different times in that movie. Like it's just, yeah, I feel that like that.
Yeah.
There is a certain kind of like enjoyment in creating things that other people can also benefit from and say like, oh yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, and then like there's also that chance of it like, getting past Neola. That's why I think is cool about 600 views is like, and I can even look is like not all those people are from Neola, and it's just super cool to see that we're reaching.
Can you like plot out like where?
It doesn't say like I can just separately look through who watched it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know who that is. Like, it's just so cool. Like,
It's a random person.
yeah, someone you don't know is like watching it, and maybe like we kind of talked about some like inspiring stuff, kind of like go and do what you want, and like
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe we reach someone and they're gonna go, make their own YouTube channel or something
pay
like
it
that.
forward, you know?
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
It's a great movie. That one guy from The Sixth Sense is in that movie, right?
Never even seen that movie.
Yeah, that's all right. Maybe
But I'll say yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're so right. Yeah. But to that, I would say, like, is there a question that you have that, I don't know, because if there's something that, how do I put this, that you want to ask that would put me off on that tangent for something you're looking for from your end product, like, what is it that you think that teenagers need to hear, or your target?
I mean, honestly, sometimes I'm like, just go do it. Like, especially with homework. We said no one does homework. Like, just go do it. Don't put it off. You're just hurting yourself. Like,
No longer.
and another thing, like, just with this podcast, go put yourself out there. Like, and
Don't
I
cheat
know-
on math either, dude.
Yeah, don't cheat on math. You have to talk to the principal about it. But
Well, that's not what I'm saying. Like, I want to be honest. Like, I've done that, and like, I have no idea. Like, no idea what I'm doing. I'm not saying I'm doing that right now. I'm saying I've done that, and like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what I
Do
was
your
doing.
work is what
yeah,
you're saying,
like do
yeah.
your work.
like, I don't know. And like, I know it's hard. Like to just say, go put yourself out there. I know people like Gavin and I, and obviously you have that like, I want to say confidence that like we're gonna put ourselves out there, and
Yeah.
like we don't really care. Like I know me, I don't really care what other people think about me, and it's just, I know it's hard to say to some people that really care about other people's opinions and just like can't do that, but like just put yourself out there. Like,
What would you say when people are so concerned like that? Like, is that from a source of like, I don't know. I think it's like so much more from like a source of insecurity. Like, if I
Yeah.
do apply myself and I don't do it, then like I'm just gonna be like in shambles. Right?
Yeah.
And so, whereas if you're resilient like you two are, right? You can say, I will face this, I will overcome it, I will make mistakes, and then I'll keep on going through it.
That's especially on one of these. I was like contemplating making a YouTube for like a couple months, And like I always had that thing in the back of my head, I'm gonna be like 30 and be like, I wish I would have made a YouTube, you know, like
Yeah.
But
yeah.
like just go do it and like
Do people like that exist already? Like 20 years ago, like oh,
maybe
God,
like I should have made a YouTube.
I should have
like,
jumped on the bandwagon.
Looking at some of those people, they did that, and now they're millionaires from just
it's unreal.
making stupid videos in their garage.
You guys remember that guy Fred?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually,
Like, how did that guy ever?
the Fred movie or whatever.
He got his own movie. Like that just blows my mind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's just like it's just so cool, and I'm like, why not? You know, I'm not gonna lose anything from it, so why not? I took the shot.
Absolutely. Well, and I would say like one thing that I've really learned this year through this whole process, and like through this huge learning curve of not only teaching for the first year, but also like learning my way through the fire department stuff, is like it is inevitable that you are going to make mistakes. Like it is inevitable that at some point you're going to say, you know what, this is a new obstacle. But like if you're just like trying it out, if you're just like willing to make those small sacrifices, and if you're willing to keep on pressing forward and saying, I'm not quite there, but I'm really determined to get there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like maintaining the sense of like gratitude.
Yeah, not being too like. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Like for me, like I've had to approach this year and say, I'm not going to be the best teacher that I can be yet because I need to learn the hardest lessons.
Yeah.
Still. But even as I'm going through and navigating those failures of mine, maintaining the sense of I'm grateful that I have this opportunity. I'm grateful that I have a support system. I'm grateful that people care about me. I just find like that sense of gratitude to be one of the best traits that any person can have, because like that's what truly keeps them motivated to keep on going forward.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. Huh?
we got the mom in the background here,
And
but
Sally.
so like going back to, do you have any end remarks that you want to like leave the people with?
Yeah. Well,
Sorry, she's just gonna die. That dog, you can't see her, but people that like know me, that dog is literally 2 years younger than me. Like she's 14. Like, yeah, dogs aren't supposed to live that long.
I just witnessed a miracle. That's what I just saw.
Yeah. This is the dog that lived to be 20.
Yeah. I'd say that the closing remarks that I have is just understanding that in reality you can prepare all you want. I feel like the way to really make it through like high school and into like adulthood, like as I'm making my first steps into it, is just like trial by fire and understanding that, you know, life is just inherently hard.
Yeah.
Life is inherently tough. And there are things that nothing can really prepare you for. You can take whatever classes, but until you're in the middle of it, until you're really navigating that storm, you don't really know like how good you're going to be able to fly on, how good you're going to be able to, or how well you will be able to support yourself. And so I think that just understanding that there are these difficulties, but if you can maintain that faith in yourself, that you will get through it, and to hold on to those people that you love and those people that make you your best possible self, I feel like those are the things that will truly make somebody successful through life.
Yeah.
And as an education or as a teacher, I'd say that it's so much more about your mindset going through these things, much more than like your natural intelligence. It's like, how determined will you be? How much will you be able to reach out for the help of other people? And how thankful will you be as you go through that process?
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
But yeah, be gracious and make good mistakes.
And that's a good ending. Like, I mean, our like soccer coach always says like life's gonna hit you. It just depends how you react to it. And like I really like live by that.
Yeah.
Because like, okay, you could have just failed a test. Don't do it again. Like it's just like that in life though.
Right.
You know, something could have gone bad. Just get through it. Don't let it happen again.
Oh, absolutely.
So
The best lesson I've
So,
ever heard was also. Oh.
How'd you say that about a flat tire, bro?
I mean, flat tire, man.
Don't
Get
let
it paid
did
for.
this
Don't
happen?
let it happen again.
Don't
Like,
let it happen again.
like I got
makes
two
sense.
flat tires and ripped my pants on the same day. Oh my god, it
we
was
got some
awful.
Village in though. That
Yeah, we had
really-
Village Inn off of after. That really helped it. But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Going into that, I'm like, you know, I'm grateful I had the money to pay for it. You know, just
Oh, definitely.
could have been my fault. I don't know what I hit, but like, be more cautious next time.
My
Like,
pothole or somewhere with all the flooding. Yeah, that makes sense.
maybe don't drive, but like,
Oh, definitely. And I would say like the best lesson I ever learned, it was also the most difficult. So we played 8-man football in Lamoni, and my sophomore year I was playing quarterback, which for me I felt super cool.
Stud.
We ended up going 1-8 though. So
It's like our soccer team, man.
that's okay though.
Hey, we're
because, like,
3
you
and
learn
something.
Hey, yeah, true.
Yeah, but the best lesson I ever learned, which was also one of the most difficult things to go through in high school, was I was benched during our last game of my sophomore year. And so it's like halfway through the second quarter, and I'm watching, our backup out there, and even though like things still aren't adding up for us, he's outperforming me.
Yeah.
And it just tore me down. It was something that kept me up at night for many months to follow. But the result of that was that I hit the weight room that much more difficult, which obviously wasn't that successful. But that motivated me to keep on going forward and to push myself farther. And so if it wasn't for that failure that I had, then I would not have rose up. And eventually in a couple years we made it to the playoffs. And so that was a really cool experience for me. To go from absolutely at the bottom 1-8, benched, to ending the season and being able to put up a banner in the gym. That's the best lesson, but also the most difficult.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
Yeah,
Well, I'd like to thank you for coming on.
absolutely.
Thank everyone for watching. If you made it this far, I mean, our last one, had 550 views and 30 minutes was the retention time, and it was an hour and 20-minute video.
Man,
So,
yeah,
I mean, hopefully they make it this far, but
I hope so too. Well, thank you so much for having me on. And I have nothing but the best of wishes for you too, because this is really cool.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Are we supposed to do a handshake to end it off?
Yeah. Here we go. Wait,
Oh,
are we
at the
supposed-
same
Oh,
time?
God.
No, should we do it for the thumbnail? Same time,
Okay.
Here we go. Like this.
Alright.